Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Kuat Sherpa 2.0 here on the back of our 2021 Toyota Venza. So this is going to be a very nice way of getting two of your bikes wherever destination might be taking you. Now I will say this is going to be for your more medium-sized adventures, and what I mean by that, we are going to have a 40-pound capacity rating here for each one of our bikes on our platform, and it is going to be a little limiting on your wheelbases with only about 47 inches at your max. If you do have some of your bigger mountain bikes and some of maybe your bigger e-bikes, those are probably going to exceed the weight and probably going to be a little too long for this carrier. But if you do find yourself kind of right in that perfect middle ground, having some of your more standard bike lengths and maybe some of your smaller sizes, this can be an excellent carrier for you. So Kuat, well known for always putting a little bit of cosmetic looks into their carriers, and this guy is no different. We have the gunmetal gray here today with the copper orange accents throughout it, which is really pretty. Now if it's not quite your style, this is also available in pearl and metallic black with their own accents to go along with them, so that way you can start, kind of getting this to how you want it. Start matching up to the color on your vehicle, which can be great, and overall does give it a nice clean look. But it doesn't just stop at looks. This does a great job of actually holding onto our bikes. We take a look here. We do have a front tire hold setup, so that's awesome. What I like about that, no matter what kind of bike we have, whether it be step-through, women's bikes, kids' bikes, BMX bikes, as long as, of course, we're able to fit on here with that wheelbase and we have one good front wheel, we can clamp down right on there and start actually getting our bikes wherever we want to go. And it really, really works well. The front tire hold, definitely my favorite system to actually hold onto our bikes, just because, again, no frame contact, and it just seems to really secure your bike on the carrier, which is cool to see. Now, if we take a look here at our cradles, our front cradle is going to be able to go down just like that, pop back open from when we need it. We are going to see that 18C standard groove in the middle, widening out to, at max, about 2 and 5/8 right there to the end. So I will say that's probably your biggest limitation here with the Kuats. If you have something like a fat bike tire, probably going to be a little too large for this guy, and especially here on the back. That strap, really not a lot of room in there. But I do like this cradle, how it can oscillate there. If you have a longer wheelbase, still hanging off the end, just a little bit's going to be a-okay, because again, we get that front plate, right? That gives you a great little backer to start securing your bikes. On the inside of that, though, you are seeing a locking core. That is going to have a cable lock included with it, letting you run through both of your bikes back into that, and therefore you can start securing your bikes to your carrier, which is cool to see. So a couple more things with this guy, which is pretty awesome. We are going to have the ability of actually tilting this away from our vehicle. Now that's going to be awesome if we want to get into the hatch of our Venza. To do that, we're going to come right to this lever right here, supporting our carrier, pull that back, and now we're letting it tilt down. The one thing I'll say about it, though, a little low, not too bad as you're seeing, but if you were to park somewhere by a hill or something, do keep that in mind that you might have just a little interaction there. But that's going to allow me to come to the back here and open up my hatch, and therefore I'm getting all those bike helmets, coolers, anything else I might need from the inside here. And what's great about it, maybe you're making an errand run or hitting that gas station on the way, really doesn't take too much time to open that up and start getting access to all your cargo. So that is awesome to see. Now, one little thing about the fitment here that I wanted to give you guys a look at with the Venza, just so happens my bike is kind of right in line with the handlebars to be really close to this rounded edge. Now, we're not going to have any interaction there, which is great to see, but that would be something I'm looking at here. If your handlebars are a little bit wonky, maybe a little too long, maybe setting that bike towards the front is going to be better. Therefore, you're not going to have that interaction. So that's the one thing I'd look out for this guy. Could definitely be a little bit of a sore spot for some out there. But I digress. Let's take a look and see how our bike is actually looking here on the back of our Venza. From the back, I'm not seeing too bad of an interaction. In fact, my wheels seem to be just below my taillights, which is pretty cool. Now, obviously, if you had a slightly larger bike, that might ruin that little visual effect for us. But I'm also liking, we're really not impacting that rear window too badly. But keep in mind, with two bikes on here, some handlebars, and a couple seat posts, you are going to lose a lot of visibility there. So, and our backup camera is going to be a little offset towards our driver's side. So in this position, you might get a little bit of visibility out of there. But again, There's 2 bikes on there, going to lose a lot of that as well. I am interested to see how it's going to look folded up, though. I think we might actually get a pretty good view while this is folded up later on in the video. But let's go ahead and take our bike off here. To do that, I just press in on this little lever. That's going to allow me to take up my strips. On the inside of that, you are seeing a little rubber matting securing it, which is cool to see. Start protecting our rims from a little damage. But that does bring us to our last hold on our bike. We're going to make sure we're doing a good job of holding onto it. That way it doesn't tilt into the vehicle or ourselves to cause any damage. Simply pressing on that lever, lifting up, setting it out to the side, and now I can quickly take my bike off. And already I'm ready to ride. Now mounting it. Usually your biggest issue you run into is this strap right here, like, to hang in your way. What I like to do, though, take my wheels, come up and underneath, set it in place, and that makes it a lot easier to tighten down that strap in no time, which is cool. So I do like how easily and condensed this gets. Nice and low profile, especially as we are going to be folding up later. Now, a couple things to keep in mind here. We have some dimensions we need to watch out for. Our big one's going to be our clearance here to the ground. So we are sitting a little low with that hitch already. From the back of the vehicle to the very end here, that's putting us at 20 3/4 of an inch. And to the inside here where our anti-rattle is, that's actually putting us right over 12 inches there. So just about a foot, which is great to see. Now, honestly, I'm not too worried about that clearance, but if those front wheels go up, the back will go down, and so will your hitch-mounted accessories. So if we do find ourselves encountering a very steep hill or like an incline, like a driveway or something, maybe take it nice and slow. That way we're not going to have any poor interactions. But again, I'm not too worried about it. I'll leave that discretion up to you guys. Always better to be safe rather than sorry. Especially here in the end, though, not too worried about it at all. Moving our way, though, here we can see how much length we're adding to the back here of our Venza. From the back of the vehicle to the very end now, that's putting us at 30 3/4 of an inch. Now, that's really not too bad to see, especially just, for a 2-bike platform rack. Staying within 35 is generally pretty good. And we do have a way of actually shortening this up. Instead of tilting down and away with this lever, I'm going to be pressing on it one more time and bringing it up to the carry position, just as you're seeing here. So really do like this guy. Now, we are getting a little close here to the Venza. Not terribly so, though. Our closest point is going to be about 2.5 inches there on the inside. Let's take a look and see how much length we shaved down overall, though. To the very end of our anti-rattle bolt, or I'm sorry, our anti-rattle knob, that's putting us at 13 inches. So really reducing a lot of that length. It is right up here on the very edge of our Venza, which is great to see. And I think it's going to be a great fit for a lot of people, especially if you just want to pull this in the garage. But at the very least, give yourself a little maneuverability so you can park it at that trailhead. But moving our way down here, we can see we have a 2-inch shank here today, held in, of course, by our 2-inch hitch receiver. On the inside of that, you do have a little alignment pin with a locking core on there. And, of course, that is going to be keyed alike to your platform lock that is actually on your front there. So you can secure your bikes to your carrier and, of course, your carrier to your vehicle. On the outside, though, this is where the real magic happens. This is going to be our anti-rattle knob. All I have to do, tighten this to the right, righty tighty. And what that's doing, taking a cam on the inside of my shank, pushing up against my hitch, and eliminating all that loose play that we naturally have. So, you're driving along and you feel that road shake. Well, no more. As you guys are going to see, as I move this, it's actually moving the entirety of the Venza. So it's actually in line with that frame. So we're eliminating all that shake and play, making for a way smoother ride for ourselves, our bike rack, but especially our bikes, which is great to see. And on the inside of that, you do have a little insertment point. You can put that included tool in there, really tighten it down, and then you're not checking it every 50 miles or so as you go down the road, which is cool to see. But in this position, too, I think the Sherpa looks pretty clean. I am really glad it's above that backup camera. Now, you might be losing a little bit here in that southern hemisphere, and it might be really hard to, back up to a wall or something just to know how close this is. But overall, you're still going to have a lot of visibility. Again, that southern area going to be lost a little bit, but a lot to be left there. And in this position, too, you got total access here to your taillights. Everybody's going to be seeing more braking. Really like how this works. And of course, I think Kuat's done a good job in making sure this arrangement looks good, but I'll leave that up to you guys. Overall, a very decent carrier. I really like the capabilities of it. I love the look. If you need just a little bit more weight, the Kuat Envy is an immediate upgrade of pretty much what you're seeing here. Get a lot of those great features, great designs. I will say, though, they can be a little expensive. In my opinion, one that's a great option for you is going to be the Rocky Mounts Monorail 2-bike platform rack. Now, that also is going to have a 60-pound weight capacity, albeit is a little bit more of a simple design, but I kind of like like it. It gets the job done, gets my bikes where I want to go, and overall it's just a decent little carrier. But the Kuat Sherpa here is still excellent, especially for people that aren't needing that 60-pound weight capacity, that want something a little more low-key on the back of your vehicle. And honestly, it just looks good doing it. What more could you want, right? But otherwise, guys, I think that about does it for our look here today at the Kuat Sherpa 2.0 here on the back of our 2021 Toyota Venza. Once again, I'm Bobby. Thanks for watching.
Here on our test course, we'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action, which simulates turning corners or evasive maneuvers. Once we get to the alternating speed bumps, we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or a pothole or driving over uneven pavement. Now lastly, we're going over some full speed bumps, and we can see here the up and down action, and this will just be like driving in and out of a parking lot, garage, or driveway. So we can see here how the bike rack moves with our truck.